Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Let's rock and roll that rabbit hole.
My boyfriend has a Neuralink. I know that there are 3 people, I think it's 3 on record, who have the Neuralink because it's not publicly available. But he has got to be in like some top secret beta testing group. We were just on a road trip and he must have blacked out and forgot that I was sitting next to him in the car, because not on a call, nothing like that. He starts doing stuff like this. It went on for a while, and finally I just was like, you got a Neuralink? And I thought that he would think it was funny, but instead he got really defensive. Why would you say that? Like, bad acting. So I don't know, he drives a Tesla. There's something going on. I'm not a dummy. I feel like I'm in an episode of Black Mirror, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's hilarious. Can you imagine being with somebody and they start doing that? He's probably on a dating website looking for a new girlfriend. That's why he answered so nervously. So these next clips I have for you contain footage of what people consider glitches in the Matrix, or maybe just simply video camera anomalies. You be the judge. Let me know what you think.
Let's see if we can make this work.
You can see the batteries through the remote on the Oculus.
So we've got an Oculus, we got a remote.
Look through it. See if it'll work.
Where's the remote? There's the remote.
You can see the batteries.
Oh wow, you can even read that they're Rule King batteries. Not making this up.
Y'all, I want you to take a look at this glitch in the Matrix, right? So you guys see these group of birds, right? Now watch what happens to them. These things completely disappear into thin air. Check this out. This is in England. This is in the UK. Look, there's no wave, but the birds are gone. Where did they go, y'all? Where did they go? Now, I could understand if there was like a huge wave that came and took them out, but you can see the water is literally flat, y'all. Where did these birds go? Completely disappear into the Matrix. This goes to show you, we live in a simulation, we live in the Matrix, and this right here proves it.
Nowhere, and this is how you know simulation is broke. Look, the sun is over there. No clouds, no clouds, no clouds. This cloud over there, but where's the shadow for this cloud coming from if the sun is behind? Check this out. You can make this shit up, guys. Right here in the middle of nowhere, I have no service. Right here in the middle of the Nevada, there's a near Area 51. The simulation is broken. Where's the cloud? Where's the shadow for that cloud right there? If the sun is shining from this way. Look at that. There's nothing in front of the sun right now, right there. All the way across here. From the other side over there, look, I'm showing you. So where's that shadow coming from that's moving over there? That's a broken simulation right there. Another one over there. They're doing it, guys. Right here in the middle of the Nevada desert.
A glitch in the Matrix.
What the f? Yo, you good?
In the Matrix live, I'm moving closer to my front window where the sunlight would supposedly come in. But there's no sunlight coming in and hitting that light, right? So I'm holding my phone, I'm just gonna walk closer and closer. And as we walk closer, look at the reflection. Damn it, I had the phone plugged in. Look at the reflection. The lights are on. But the lights are not on.
In the Matrix.
What the?
It doesn't make any
Dog.
Here's a quick update on we're living in a simulation. So there's this nice hotel here. Then they built this parking garage, which is cool, but they have these doors here, and this one says keep closed from the outside on the 3rd story. Who's gonna open it from there? Doesn't make any sense. It's not real. This is not real. This is a simulation.
So what do you think? Are these strange glitches in the Matrix? Or are we dealing with video camera artifacts, or lens flares, or sneaky editing? If they are real, it would lead one to believe that we are in fact in a simulation.
Everywhere I go now, they'll say, tell us more about the backdrop people. Everything is energy. Nothing is real anyway. Everything you see, everything that's around you, everything in your life, you're creating and putting there. This is your movie. It wouldn't be a very good movie, would it, if you were the only person in the movie? You have the backdrop people. When you cast a movie, you cast all the extras to play all the parts of all the people. Those are the backdrop people. And when I go into a crowded airport now, I was thinking, oh boy, look at all the backdrop people I've just created. I shouldn't have put so many into this. The backdrop people are not real. They are energy. Now the people in your life, those are real. Those are the ones that are on the evolutionary path. They're real, and you've made these contracts with all these other people, but these other ones are not. And I said, do they have souls? They said, no. They said, it's holographic, because this is how powerful your mind is. It's just an illusion.
The subject of NPCs is fascinating to me. Are there people walking around that are just like us, but missing one crucial ingredient? Could people be manufactured in incubators in a much shorter period of time? I don't know, but this is worth looking more at. Here's some more info.
What is an NPC?
You don't know this meme?
Is that a Scientology thing?
No, non-player character.
Non-player character?
What, you don't know about this? Do I get to tell you the NPC meme?
Yes.
This is the most important meme of our lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Breaking it down as quickly as possible. I'm going to show my age.
Okay.
When we were younger, we played games like Final Fantasy and Ultima, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in those games, you go to like the armor store or the weapon store, and you buy your sword or you buy your armor.
Right.
There's a guy running that store within the game.
Yes.
He does not exist outside of that store.
Right.
That character, all he does is buy armor and sell armor. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have a kid. You go there at midnight, he's there. You go there at 8 a.m., he's there.
Right.
He's the player characters you're playing. He's the non-player character. And the point this meme makes is the vast majority of humans are non-player characters. They have no mind outside their programming. And you see this on Twitter, where it's one thing when people say cliched ideas, but they'll say cliched ideas in a cliched way.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have no mind. You're just repeating what has been programmed to you in your script. And as soon as you mention certain terms, there's just a knee-jerk speech that they give. And once you identify it, it's like the Matrix. Like you see Agent Smith everywhere.
Check this out, y'all.
I want to ask you 5 questions. Here we go. We ask every
Liquid
big famous
crystal.
star. And guess what? You're in the running game. Organization that works in over 150
Watch how she
countries.
slowly
My
morphs.
job was to meet with teenagers who were living in exclusion, who were living in extreme poverty, or living with HIV, and write their stories.
It's a very
Listen to their
gradual
stories and
process,
write
the
it.
shape-shifting.
And so, I mean, I obviously learned so much from these kids. I learned from Anna.
See, the old cameras used to catch their skin.
I learned to live each day to its fullest.
Called liquid
crystal.
One morning, I'm done for the weekend, and so I'm just gonna get away and spend time with family and friends, and just enjoy it, relax for once. Kind of a fat chance on.
Watch how it morphs, y'all.
Camera glitches? Or examples of something else? Those are quite strange patterns forming on their skin. Kinda reminds me of the movie They Live. Do they walk amongst us?
I was out with some young people. We were in a social situation for about 45 minutes. They were just on their cell phones the entire time. The whole time. What the hell are you doing? There's 5 of us around the fireplace and you're on your phones, completely engrossed in them. And I don't know what you're doing on your phone, but whatever you're doing, you're not being here now with actual people. And I think their whole lives are like that. Part of the reason kids are so confused about their identity is because their identity is never played out in the actual world. They're in these virtual delusions.
I feel like Jordan raises some interesting questions here. It seems like people are losing the ability to socialize. So if someone could be brought into this world, an NPC, can a person be turned into an NPC?
This is how to know if you are an NPC. Now, NPC stands for non-player character, something like the people that be on GTA that has no purpose, that just fills up the game. Life is not as real as most people think it is. This shit is nothing but a game. It's nothing but a simulation. You don't know how you got here. You don't know what happens after you leave here. You're just here. And while you're here, you don't care to question nothing. You don't really have no deep thoughts about things. You don't really care about things. And that's okay, because you're literally an NPC. It's not wrong or nothing. That's just who you are. Most likely spend most of your life on your phone, playing the game, getting high, or partying. All you do know is that you have a body, so you do whatever you can to make your body feel good. You don't care if it damages your body. You don't care what's going to happen long term because you're an NPC. You don't think deep. You don't have no actual thoughts because it is a part of your programming. You're not supposed to think outside the box. See a video like this of somebody talking about life as a simulation or thinking outside the box, you instantly reject it. It's not in your programming to understand shit like this. You have to take up space. You have to be the people that's always partying or the people that's working these jobs, etc. Part of the game. It's like, imagine GTA with no pedestrians. For all the people who's aware, who knows that we're in a simulation, you're not supposed to stress yourself trying to wake up the NPCs. It's impossible. The genuine NPCs, the genuine bots, they have no sense of awareness in them. With you having so much awareness, you want to spread it to everybody else, but it's not meant for everybody to come to awareness.
He made a really good point here. There's no point in trying to wake up an NPC. These people are running on scripts, and those scripts will not be broken. People wake up when they're ready, if ever.
Bank of Souls is a concept that originated from Jewish mysticism, however, it's been adapted into several other religious theories as well. According to the legend of the Bank of Souls, there is a finite amount of souls that can ever exist within human history. Specifically, this pool of souls is known as the Chamber of Guff and exists at the base of the Tree of Life. According to this legend, the Tree of Life bears fruit, and that fruit is actual human souls. There are some times when there are more people in the world than the tree can provide. According to the theory around the Bank of Souls, if someone is born or conceived at the time that there's not a soul for it, it will simply be born as a person without a soul. These soulless people, or NPCs as the internet so delicately puts it, exist on Earth along with people who do have souls, and as a matter of fact, in some cases, are used specifically to test those who do have souls to judge their worth. You can follow that theory further and say that the reason you're so used to seeing people who have what is to you completely mind-numbing opinions and are constantly at opposition with you is a deliberate choice from whoever is controlling the system as a means to see how you deal with opposition.
So how much of the population could be background people? 20%? 60%? More? Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
What is an NPC, or what I have been known to call filler people? NPC stands for non-player character. Where does this come from? Because we are all existing in a game. We chose to come down from higher dimensions into lower dimensions so that we could participate in a form of self-competition. We are here to evolve our awarenesses and remember what it feels like to have emotions and lower vibrational feelings. We are essentially participating in a simulation of an old Earth experience. We come from, if you want to consider it, the future, but it's not the future because linear time isn't real. What it is we come from an evolved state of awareness. So a non-player character means it is a soulless body. But where does a soulless body come into? How do they get here if they do not have a soul and they do not enter in through another soul, which we call birth? Then how did they come here? I'm gonna tell you. This is called incubator children or Cabbage Patch Kids. These were at the state fairs around the world in 1800s, early 1900s. These were babies who were created in incubators. You could create a full baby in 12 hours versus your 10 months that you do inside of a human with a soul. Why would they create NPCs or filler people? Because they are here to confuse you. Remember, this is a game. This is a game of the Earth realm. We come here to explore this situation of what it feels like to be a human, to what it feels like to be energy locked inside a tiny little body whenever we're actually energy that is expansive, that is limitless in our highest form. We are not of this earth. That means we are also, if you want to consider it, aliens, or like I like to call, stellar civilizations. We have all other stellar civilizations where we all originate from, watching us just like the Truman Show. So there are people in your life right now who are NPCs, who are filler people, who are soulless inside of a body. And the more awareness you gain, the more you unplug from the simulation, the matrix, which is the program that keeps you inside of all of the systems, the work system, the education system, the medical system. All of those systems were created to distract you as obstacles from your evolution into higher consciousness, into Christ consciousness. That's where Jesus Christ comes from. Jesus Christ is the character of what we are all capable of. So the more you grow and expand and unplug from this matrix simulation, the more you recognize those who do not have souls. And typically it's whenever you just naturally gravitate away from these people, the more you gravitate inwards and you start working on yourself and you become self-accountable. They are everywhere and they are continuously being created. The truth is way crazier than you could ever imagine.
Now, I think that a lot of people probably want to unplug from the matrix. I feel like people yearn for something more. Life is not supposed to be just a parasitic money grab. There's experience here to be had.
So this is the biggest building in the world, the heaviest building. It weighs over 9 billion pounds. 4.5 million tons, and it went up in the 80s. And there's not a single construction photo of it. This is all I could find. Look, they are digging it out. And look, it's dirty, it's messy, it needs to be cleaned off. It's supposed to be brand new. And then this is the other one with some stuff up next to it, but it's finished. Guys, the story's so stupid. It said that this dictator really wanted a palace, and so he had a competition, and this 28-year-old chick, when she was 28, won it. She was in charge of 700 architects and like 10,000, 30,000, the number doesn't matter, laborers. It said a lot of it was forced labor and that the army helped. These aren't even skilled craftsmen. Guys, what in the fuck? There's not a photo of the construction. I dare anyone, please go look. I looked and looked and I couldn't find a single photo of the construction of this magnificent place they say was built in the 80s. Do you see what I'm talking about? They just print shit. They just lie in front of you, and they have guns and you don't. And that's all of our history books. We're like, they couldn't pull the wool over our eyes. We knew what was going on into the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. You don't know shit. You didn't know about the biggest building in the world and that there's not a single construction photo for it other than the one of them digging it out. I think this is the smoking gun of smoking guns, unless someone can prove me wrong and say, no, they absolutely built this palace for Parliament under a sociopathic dictator. Had this chick built? What are we talking? How is she not celebrated? How is this not the most talked about person on earth? You all know about Mr. Eiffel. This chick rivals him. What a ridiculous, ridiculous narrative.
No construction photos ever is rather suspicious, and the one photo they do have makes the building look old and stained like it's been there for hundreds of years. Who are you gonna believe?
What if I told you the reason pigs' eyes look so human is more disturbing than you think? Think about it. Pigs don't just have human-like eyes. They have human-like skin, human-like organs, human-like emotions, but no one asks why. No one stops to question it. Yet, when you lock eyes with certain pigs, when you really look at them, something feels off, too aware, too familiar, like there's someone trapped behind that gaze. And maybe there is. See, pigs aren't just similar to humans. They are too similar. Their skin, used for burn grafts, their heart valves, transplanted into human bodies, their organs, so close to ours that scientists are now experimenting with full pig-to-human organ transplants. Coincidence? That's what they tell you. But if it's just coincidence, why does every part of them feel like a compatible version of us? And it's not just physical, it's their minds too. Pigs recognize their own names. They dream. They mourn their dead. They cry for lost companions. Some have even been caught playing video games. Not for food, not for survival, but out of sheer boredom. So tell me, why? Why is there an animal walking around with human-like organs, human-like skin, human-like emotions? Maybe the answer is darker than you think.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
Now this raises some questions as to where pigs came from, maybe even as to where humans came from. The similarities are amazing. When you look at them, it starts to make sense why certain cultures won't eat it. It reminds them of people.
What does this look like to you? If you said dinosaur, let's be friends. If you said Stegosaurus, let's be best friends. This guy is carved on a block in a wall in a temple in the jungles of Cambodia. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. This place is sick. Mother Nature takes back over. It's ancient, it's crumbly. This is on my bucket list. I need to see this with my eyeballs. But also, they knew about dinosaurs? What? This place was supposedly built between the 8th century and the 14th century. So, ancient, but not dinosaur ancient. So, they shouldn't have been seeing them. But also, George Washington didn't even know about dinosaurs. We didn't start finding them until after that. So, how did they know? I have thoughts. I have theories. I don't understand. Some of you may be thinking, well, it must be some other animal, and it just looks like a dinosaur to us because we know about dinosaurs. But hang on. They were like pretty good artists. Monkey, deer, water buffalo, 2 parrots, a swan. It looks like what it's supposed to look like. You know, you can tell what it is. Also, lizard. So it's not that. I'm personally inclined to believe that the timeline is askew and that place is way older than what we think it is. But let me know what you think. I'm curious.
Now, why would ancient cultures draw pictures of dinosaurs? Certainly there's proof of mammoths and saber-tooths and dire wolves, but I find it very curious that they've never found one skull of any of these lizard dinosaurs. Not one lizard skull of a Triceratops or T-Rex or Stegosaurus has ever been found. They're all artist renderings. Sorry to break it to you. Jurassic Park was a cool movie.
Nobody can convince me that the platypus is not a science experiment. It's like a duck-beaver-otter hybrid. It's also a mammal that lays eggs. It's also venomous, which is weird for a mammal, and its venom is found in its back legs. It just kicks you to envenomate you. It also doesn't have teeth, so it uses rocks to chew up its food. And I don't know where its food goes because it also doesn't have a stomach. It also doesn't have nipples, but it gives off milk, just kind of leaks out of its armpits. It's also an aquatic creature that doesn't have senses in water. It goes blind and deaf when it jumps in water. But that's cool because it can connect to the electromagnetic field. It can sense electrical pulses in other creatures' bodies.
That has got to be the strangest creature on Earth. Venom in its back legs? Whoever created that design has a wild imagination. Or they're just really bad at creating. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for coming by. See you next time.